I think gaming is great, and so far, gaming has helped me made $17,000 from Electronic Arts. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video, we're going to talk about how I made $17,000 from Electronic Arts, stock crash, and we're going to dive into the technical analysis side of things. So before we start, I just want to celebrate another success story in Investing Accelerator where Tony has finally cashed out on his call option in Ulta Beauty. So in the screenshot below, you'll actually see Tony initially saying that he earned 44% from Ulta Beauty, and then later on he cashed out at 50% yesterday. So that is fantastic. Congratulations, Tony. And I'm glad you're very successful after going through the program. So if you haven't watched part 1 of the video, this is really part 2 of Electronic Arts, where we talk about how I made $17,000 from it. So if you haven't watched part 1 of EA stock, make sure you go back and watch part 1. So to start, we really need to go back to July 2018 when the stock was doing very well. So I'm just going to briefly go over this again. From 2014 to 2018, Electronic Arts gained 600% in 5 years, from $20 to $145. So it is a fantastic stock, and it went up a lot. Now, most people are using the old model of investing, which is just buy and hold, and it doesn't really protect them from the drop of Electronic Arts. So in this case, if you look at what happened in the stock charts on the right hand side, you will see that there's a negative 45% drop in 6 months. So that's quite a severe drop, and the stock price went down from $149 to $80. So you can think, if you are holding at $149, it's going to be quite a significant drop for you. Now, in terms of news analysis, I covered this in part 1 of the video, so then we're just going to skip over that part in terms of loot boxes and also the stock price that is related to the news article. So the overall sentiment for EA is pretty negative. So during that time, a lot of investors are avoiding EA instead of investing in EA. Now, let's talk about timing, because when it comes to a problem of investing, timing is a big part of it. Now, there are mainly 2 schools of thought. The first school of thought is that you can't time the market, so why bother? And the second school of thought is that you can time the market, so you should try your best to enter at a discount. Now, let's look at the price chart for the last 2 years for EA. So on the right hand side, you will see that the price has been accumulating, and then afterwards it dropped from $140 something all the way to $80. Now, if you bought on June 2018, you'll be at $147, which is pretty much the highest high. Now, if you bought on January 17th, $125, you'll still suffer a loss. Now, if you bought at June 2017, then you will be buying at around $113, and you will still suffer a loss. And finally, if you bought at January 17th at $80, then all your gains for the last 2 years or so will be wiped out. So here is a screenshot explaining how much you'll be losing from that drop. So obviously, the person who bought at June 2018 will be losing the most, 45%, 36, and then 29, and then in the end, if you bought on January 2017, then you'll be losing 0%. But that actually means you lost all your gains for the last 2 years or so. So it's quite significant, and if you experience that before, then you will feel like not so well in your stomach. Maybe you can't sleep and you get pretty stressed out about investing because you don't know whether the stock price will recover. Now, of course, as of the time I'm recording this video for you, the stock price has recovered significantly, but if you are the people that purchased in 2018, you will still be losing money, I believe. Okay, So most people will probably panic, sell, or even suffer a loss during that drop. And even professionals will experience that sometime. So as an average investor, how can you prepare for yourself for such a crash? What you can do to minimize your loss? And why is investing so difficult? So it's time to switch over to the new model of investing. Let's take a step back, and it's time to do your homework. Now, within my investing strategy, I actually cover a lot of analysis, which includes technical, fundamental, company strategy, products, news, valuation, and other techniques as well. And in this video, we're going to talk specifically on technical analysis. And for those of you who don't know, technical analysis is the study of price. Now for that, I have a couple of tools I use, and one of the tools is developed by a guy named John Bollinger. And he developed a tool called Bollinger Band, and that is one of the most popular technical indicators to date. There are a couple of polls or votes done on it, and Bollinger Band, which is BB Band, is one of the most popular among Forex traders, commodities, cryptocurrency traders, and it is quite common to short-term day traders as well. Now, what is a Bollinger Band? Now, on the chart on the left-hand side, you will see that is actually the stock chart for Electronic Arts, and you see those two lines that is above and below the price. That is Bollinger Band. So essentially, Bollinger Band is a method where it helps you identify the high points and the low points for a given period of time. So if you don't know what Bollinger Band is, then let me bring you back to high school math where you learn about probability. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a curve called the bell curve. And if you study probability, you'll probably know what that is. And essentially, the default parameters for Bollinger Band is to have 2 standard deviation for the data set. That means 95% of the time, the data point will lie within 2 standard deviation, which is the upper and the lower band in this case. So in the stock investing term, price will stay within the Bollinger Band 95% of the time. So that means 5% of the time price will be outside of these 2 bands. So it's actually quite useful to see the highs and the lows of the stock price using Bollinger Band. So that's pretty much it. That is the simplified explanation for Bollinger Band. Now, some people will actually argue whether 95% is actually true to stay within the band, but pretty much most of the time, price will stay within the band. Okay, so using Bollinger Band, you can actually find tops and bottoms, and that will help you reduce your risk because you'll always be trying to enter at a bottom. So if we take a step back and go back a couple of years, how could you have used Bollinger Band to keep your losses to a minimum? So if you invest only when the price touches the bottom parts of the Bollinger Band, then you would be investing at around $76 in 2017 and around $100, which is the second blue dot there, in 2018. So that will help significantly reduce your loss compared to just investing in the beginning of the year or in the midpoint of the year. And then you'll notice that there are 2 red dots on the right-hand side. And I'll actually explain that because for Bollinger Band, they're really good at kind of predicting the bottom in the short term. But Bollinger Band is actually not good at predicting the bottom for long term. So if you look at the first red dot in the screenshots there, you'll see that it did not successfully predict the bottom, and then the price continues to go down. And then only after the price has gotten out of the Bollinger Band, then you see the second red dot there is a very good price to enter. So you can see that I actually entered near the second red dot, which is fantastic in terms of timing. So how do you know when a signal is reliable for Bollinger Band and when a signal is not? And that is really what most people don't teach you about. So here's the secret. When the Bollinger Band is expanding, which means the 2 lines are becoming further and further away from each other, that is a very, very strong signal that the bands itself are not reliable. So then you need another way to validate this opportunity. So if you look at the drop in late 2018, which is where the first red dot is. You're going to see that it is very, very fast. And if you look at the Bollinger Band during that time, you'll see that it is expanding. So that means there is a very strong move there. So it is likely that the Bollinger Band, that line will not be the bottom. So then you want to wait longer for the price to form a bottom. So that's what you want to pay attention to, and that's what the unreliable situation is. Once you're able to time the market or improve your accuracy in terms of timing the market, in January 2020, that's when I take my profits on electronic arts, and within 14 months, I earned 60%. And I use a very specific strategy to multiply my profit, but essentially the stock price went from $83 to $108. So congratulations to those who actually bought underneath $108 because you'll be making a profit right now. So using my strategy, I made $17,000 in 14 months. That is a 60% return. Now, if you just calculate the stock return during that time, it's approximately 20 to 30%. But because I know how to use stock options to multiply my profit, I make around 60%. That is really it for this video. And you can see how Bollinger Band can help reduce your losses and how it can improve your timing. And you know exactly when it is not reliable, which is a very crucial concept when you're investing in the market. So are you interested in learning more about how to time the market? If you are, then my name is Eric Seto, and my mission is really to help people without a financial background to earn 30% a year using an hour a week through a coaching program called Investing Accelerator. So some of the success stories from the program includes Arian, which I talked about last time. He made 74% from Square in 5 months. And Benson, he made 100% on AMD within a year. And then Lee also made 60% from Activision and NVIDIA, 125% there. So she's quite amazing. So if you're interested to learn more, you can actually attend the free webinar called How to Get 30% from the Market at the link below, which is 5minuteinvesting.com/free case study. So if you click there and then you register, then you can access this free training right away. If you want to get more help from me, then you can join the program and you can schedule a call with me to see if you are a good candidate for the program Investing Accelerator. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching it. And if you like what I'm doing, please click like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. You know, did you make a profit with electronic arts or did you lose money? And what is your favorite gaming stock? So let me know, and I read and reply every single comment. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please help support me by like, subscribe, and you can watch the next recommended video here as well. So I'll see you in the next one.